Hello, everyone. It's Ethan Bonzer, and I have something to tell you. So, ever since, let me tell you a little story about me. You know, for anyone that doesn't know who I am. So, my name is Ethan Bonser, Bonser. At the time of this recording, I am 32 years old, and I live in Glenwood, Michigan, a small town, not really city, but town. So I want to tell you a little story about me, since junior high. So, and you can already guess what this video is, entailing, but say, I'm just gonna mention a story and then I'll get to the point. So, ever since junior high in 2005 or 6, one of those years, between so for 3 years, which would be 5 to 7, between there I have went to junior high or middle school, if as many other people call it, and I have had a fascination of or a higher interest or a moderate interest in as girls, as females, but also males. I did not know, what to think of this, and I knew about the sexualities back then, but I didn't know, you know, who I was, until I had the night where to myself where I'm just laying in bed, looking up on to my ceiling and just thinking, you know, let me process this information in my mind and see where it gets me and all, and then I can kind of like put something together, as sort of thing. So I, so back in junior high, I had gym class, and I, and as a student, as a very shy, nervous student, who barely even passed, most of my, classes and whatnot, like I wasn't like a bad boy or, like a badass or nothing. I was more as just an outcast, a social outcast that no one cared about except for myself. One other person cared, or maybe a few, but they never really like talked to me or really cared, and all. I had two people or three that actually cared a lot, who are my childhood friends, and that and only 2 out of 3 of them are still my childhood friends. I won't mention their names or I won't mention anyone else's names, even the teacher names or whatever. So I was in gym class, and as a nervous, shy student, I went in there and I did not want to change in front of others. I was embarrassed of myself. I was embarrassed of being nude in front of others, and and now I think that's a typical thing for anyone. But for everyone in my gym class, every time they were not, I never seen any of them being like, what is it called, shy or nervous or anything about what others think. They just changed and moved on. And I thought, okay, well maybe I am abnormal then, because I don't do the traditional way, of changing. And what I mean by that is not like, oh, I don't change into a weird outfit or this and that or whatever. I was just nervous about I was very insecure about my body and and just being, and not being nude in front of others, but thinking that, oh, if others will just, I'll be a laughing stock of the entire, school years and to come, if as people still remember me as being Oh, the boy with like this and that, or you know weird the weird guy or whatever, and a lot of people have thought about that probably, but I don't care anymore. But anyways, when I went to so I went in the gym class. I was and then in the gym locker, and then because I was scared or whatever to everyone, I decided to change. There was like one stall right next to an office, the coach or gym, in like the classroom or office or something, and then there's you know one stall right there next to it. That was it, one stall. There was a showers on the left side, and then behind me was the gym lockers and stuff like that. So one stall, and I'm like, okay, well, if it was not occupied, which sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't, I took advantage of it by going into it and then just changing there privately. And then I had to use the bathroom and a few other things, and then I just and I and they have like how most stalls between it, because the door has to open and close, that there's this little crack right here, like you in between, where you can see not everyone but just whoever passes by and all. I figured out, well, what if I'm not I was just curious what I wasn't really thinking what I was doing, but I was more curious about what, maybe if I'm hiding here, no one knows I'm here, or no one knows I'm right here. And then I just decided that, okay, well, let me just do a little bit of surveilling a little bit, through the cracks. And then I just even underneath the door or something like that, just for example. And then I seen and I was looking at the side where the showers were, and then seeing, and then I seen, for the first time I've seen someone's like downstairs business, private, and I first time as it's in junior high, I'm like, oh my gosh, but I didn't think, but then I'm like, I didn't really think much of it. I'm being honest when I say this. I did not think much of it. I just thought, oh well, that's a private for sure, and that is what it looks like. But I didn't. But but because I was young, I didn't know. Yeah, I guess if it looked like others, and stuff like that, or my own. So, but then again, I seen it. I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. And because I've done, and I will let you know that I have looked at other. I have seen a lot of whatever, or maybe not a whole lot of whatever online when I was young, but like just growing up, because dial-up and DSL was very slow, and then it became the faster internet and that sort of thing. The rest is history. But anyways, so in junior high, I was just I wasn't spending most of my time there, but it was, well, during the time that I was doing it at the gym class, I was there, sitting in there, and then people and others, and I was forced a few times to just stand to change, but I was just standing there, like in front of everyone in the gym locker, just like seeing them all, and then seeing who, if anyone actually like exposed themselves accidentally, that would catch them and and see it, But I didn't think, but as I said, I did not think much of it. I just, but A few times I have, a few times I haven't. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is, as I did change, and eventually, and then also I had my teacher to defend me, and whatever else. I did exactly what he told me to do as in a gym class, and I passed it barely with a D. I hate gym class so much, but I don't like right now. I wouldn't mind gym class if it was that, but I wouldn't want to change in front of others. Still to this day, just for that reason, unless if I know them very well, or they know, or I know that they're not going to be judgmental or whatever else. They're not going to see nothing that they haven't already seen before, but they would just. But I wouldn't want to But I wouldn't do that only if I would only do that if I trust that person with all my life and whatever, that they're not gonna judgmental, nothing like that, whatever, blah blah blah. So, but I wouldn't do that to any stranger, you know. And but so as one night I was sleeping, or not sleeping, I was laying down at nighttime. I was looking at the ceiling. I'm like, let me what do I think about this? Let me just actually like put this in perspective and process this information in my mind. At this in this night to better understand it, where for now on, if I am any of the sexualities that exist. And at the time I knew straight, which is technically, a sexuality or a part of sexuality, and then bisexual, homosexual, or gay, that is lesbian, and then and also transgender and others. But and I know this may offend other people here when I say this, but please take it with a grain of salt. Is that when when because I was born as a male, raised as a male, and as a guy and all and everything, I only applied a few, very few or couple to a possibility to narrow it down, which made it easier for me. If it was a female, I don't know how well I would. I mean, I would know probably eventually or soon enough, but I didn't. But I just probably would have to explore more into it later on. But for a male, it'd be like straight, bisexual, or maybe transgender or other. Not lesbian, not or whatever. And or not. Well, actually, I did forget to mention about homosexual. So sorry. So I had only a few options, and I'm like, okay, well, let me process that information first before I can perceive to knowing what my faith is. If that makes sense. So, and I'm like, okay, so let me think. I see. Do I like guys? Yes. Do I like girls? Yes. Or female? Do I like do I like guys in a pleasurable way? Yes. Do I like females in a pleasurable way? Yes. And although I am more pickier, a little bit more pickier when it comes to guys, but as over time as I get older, I will I'm 32 years old. I'm pretty old, or I feel old. I really do. And anyone that's watching this that feels like we're all in the same boat here, just comment down below if you do feel like you're in the same boat of being 32, 30s, 40s, or whatever, and just feel like, don't you wish you were younger? Don't I wish I was younger? And in today's society, in a way, and just but to not just be younger, but to be more relatable and more adaptable in with others who are younger than me, much younger, and I do want to like relate to them, but I know how today's society is with how nerve wracking it is when a 32-year-old wants to be friends with or whatever or with someone who is a lot younger, of 18 or or whatever, that sort of thing, and and I'm not, but all I'm saying is that yeah, society can be a child all it wants to be, and I understand under certain laws and protection of younger people, it's understandable. But for when that, but yet when, but whether it's not just to be with that person, but to actually, you know, um, yeah. So, but anyways, I'll move aside from that conversation. I just went off track here. Do apologize. Then I will get back to what I'm thinking. Oh yeah, well, I like guys, I like girls, and then I like them both, but I'm a little more pickier about guys, or girls, but I think that's with everyone. But of course, again, I know I'm wrong about half right, half wrong, with a lot of it. So yeah, I mean, who isn't always right, no one. So, but I am. So then I concluded that I am bisexual. You know, I that I lie under the umbrella term bisexuality, and if anyone doesn't know what bisexual means, or just what that term means, bi means two, and sexuality or sexual is related to having relationships or relations with of both sides of things, or just relations of ship, so you having so to but by either meaning to is also referring to both guys and girls, male, female, now I understand, I'm not gonna go into that, because that would be this video is not about that. It's a bit about myself, revealing to the world, whoever cares to watch, is that I am bisexual. I never really hit it, but for a lot of people who I do see a lot of the time, or sometimes, or even once in a blue moon, I never really talk to, because, I will let you know, I'm not victimizing myself. I'm not trying to be innocent here, I'm just telling you the truth, about me. Is that I am very emotional, but I am also empathetic. I'm an empathetic individual. I feel empathy a lot, but I feel that I can feel vibrations, negative or positive vibrations from other people that I want to be around, and stuff like that. So I am emotionally sensitive. More so because I actually do have, was it a genome, I have two genomes of the same, that are identical, and all that would be, that relates to serotonin, uh, receptor of that, that the one that serotonin, that one that controls the emotions and everything of the person, that I have two of them, which makes me more emotional, a double-edged sword, basically, in that sense, where I feel too much at the same time as I don't. It's hard to explain unless if you have it or know what I mean. It is, it's always tough to explain. It's not like I'm not going to try to explain it scientifically or nothing like that, Just that serotonin is an emotion regulation chemical, a chemical that regulates the emotions and or I guess or everything else and of that, how whether you're mad or the mood swings and stuff like that too and all, and that I have two the same receptors G dash G. They and it's so in the future I can show you, or if you ask me, I have a picture of it. I'll show it to you in the future. I won't show it on here, but I will show it. It's a little private, but I'll show it to you if you in the future, if you do come up to me and be like, hey, what you said you had a two serotonin receptors or 2GG or something like that. What does that mean? Then I'll actually show you. I'll explain it to you in a simplistic way, but I won't be like pushing you away or nothing like that. I'm not that kind of person at all. Sorry. I am a very friendly individual who I am a friendly individual who is empathetic, who cares, who is trustworthy, loyal, who is a hard worker, and loves people and loves friends even more unconditionally, and if you this video isn't solely about this, but it does relate to this, and it's not a secret whatsoever, in that sense. But if anyone wants to come to me, as after he watched this video once or twice or something, and they listen to every word I say, and I am sorry if I look away or look up or whatever. I'm just thinking in my mind, how to say this without, and I'm not always looking at the camera like I'm supposed to, because the camera is you guys and all, and to everyone. I mean it with all my heart and soul that if you give me a chance in your life to be a part of mine, or want me to be part of your life in any way, like whether it's starting a friendship or just being a shopping buddy or being someone to vent to and all, like anyone, we're a friend therapist, I'll be there for you. Just call for me, call my name and just have me in your life, and just have me in your life. I'm not forcing you. I'm not, begging for you. I'm not, nothing like that. But if you do find it in your heart and soul to forgive me, like if anyone who is watching this that knows of me, and not knows me well, but knows me of me and all, whether I've seen them at restaurants, bars, or buildings, or anywhere, even if it's one time or a few times, and you met and you've seen me, but you haven't talked to me, or you just know of me because of from other people, not of the main source, but like myself, but other people. I'm not that bad. I'm really not that. I'm not a bad person at all. I am not 100% not a bad person, not a badass. I'm not someone who does anything like that, in the past, and or even to this day, I don't do anything like that. I don't steal, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I do vape, but that's about it. And vaping is not the same as smoking. But of course, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh no, it is the same." Blah blah. Blah. No, but they have to research themselves. I've been doing it. I've been doing vaping for a long, long time, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Um, and it is a safer alternative to smoking. But this is not like an ad or nothing like that. That this is not nothing like that. I'm just speaking my mind and freely, and I am an open-minded individual. So if you ask me anything, as long as you can promise me this, and I mean literally promise me, guarantee you're not going to tell a living soul about this, or spread the news, unless if it's something that's not as, private to you as to me. Like where if I say, oh, I don't mind if you tell anyone this, or if you ask me like, hey, can I tell my friend here or two, that what you said to me, because it'll help them or anything like that. Be like, sure. Just ask me. Ask me anything. I am an open minded individual. I love people. I care for people. I care about the world, about everyone I meet and everyone and just, that's in my life. I need new friends. I do. But I'm not begging for it. I'm just like, mentioning it out there, you know. Um, but if you do want to become friends or acquaintance with me, or even just, or if you see me in public anywhere, say at Burger King, for example, which I'm usually there, but sometimes, not all the time. But if I'm there or walking on a road or something, and you see me, feel free to stop me, come to me, stop me, come to me, and talk to me. You know, whatever you want to talk about. I'll talk to you, and we can be friends as long as you don't, trying to. I mean, and I don't care what you do in your life in sense of that, of like where. What I'm saying is that you're. I don't know if I don't know if I'll cut this out or not, but if you're listening to this, then obviously I did not cut this out. But what I mean by don't care about what you do is that you're, you're a friend to me, and I want to do everything with you. And if you want me in your life or not, or if you want me to, or how bad you want me in your life, I'll be the person you want me to be in a sense. But I'm not gonna play that. I'm not trying to be another person or a different person, but if I get more social skills and to explore socially and emotionally and whatever to other friends and just or other people, not just talking to me, but actually wanting to be acquaintance or friends with me, and all, and giving me their number and stuff like that, and whatever. I never tell a living soul anything, that you told me. I'm not telling the living soul about it. I don't gossip. I don't do nothing like that. I'm not that kind of person. And and anyone who does gossip, I mean, that's yeah, that's totally fine, I guess, if you do, but if you want real friends like myself, real friends who do not whatsoever tell a living soul about anything you told me, regardless I forgot about it or not, if you tell me an actual secret, I will not tell anyone. I will not tell a living soul. I will tell you a secret too, if you to make it feel more safe and more comfortable in your shoe in your to you. That I'll tell you a secret if you tell me a secret. I'll tell you stuff if you tell me stuff. And I'm not gonna ever ask you for money. I'm not gonna ever loan anything from you, borrow anything from you, or whatever. If I do borrow anything, it's not gonna be money. It's gonna be like, oh, can I borrow this pen, or can I borrow this like game, or whatever, if you don't mind, or borrow this DVD or something, or whatever, or a CD, or record, or whatever. I don't have a lot of hobbies myself. I love electronics. I love tech. I love phones, laptops, everything. I did it ever since I was 5 years old. I loved it ever since then. I know a lot about between a lot of the programs and a lot of the Windows and Mac and several other ones. I love I do love AI. As much as everyone hates AI, I love it for different reasons. Maybe reasons that may or may not relate to you fully, but we're all different. So don't worry about it. If you don't like AI and I love AI, then that's not gonna be the breaker. The make or break thing in friendships. Of mine. I don't. And if you love fishing or hunting, or say, like, if you want, or archery or bowling, or I guess either maybe dancing, or even shopping, for example. Like, I love shopping, shopping's free and all. And there'll be a lot, and there's a lot of other stuff, or even just talking, Ben to me, or talk to me, or I talk to you, or just talking and chilling and whatever. That's who I am. I love to do that. I don't smoke. I don't do weed. I don't do smoking of any kind except for with vaping. But I don't even do that as much, because I don't do nicotine at all. I despise it, in no way. It gets me lightheaded. There's a lot that you can know about me, but and whether I put something together in the future, like a little resume or portfolio of myself of a website about me website, and I had this video on there too, but you can also learn about my resumes, my professional resume and my personal resume, and learning, and also learn about, and also all the links I have, and just talking to, and also I'm not gonna, and I wouldn't charge anyone or do nothing about if for video chatting, that is, or audio chat. I wouldn't charge no service for that or anything like that. It's not a service. They want to talk to someone, and I am there for them. I am a sponge. I am an empathetic sponge. I do not, I want to help everyone, but I know I can't. But if anyone wants to tell me anything or everything or whatever, to me, and I'll listen. I'll just absorb it all and I'll take I want to take your anxiety, your stress, your discomfort, your pain, your suffering, your depression, everything. I want to take it all from you, so that you don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to suffer in this world, not really in this world, but more you don't have to suffer anymore because I'm gonna take it all for you. I want to take all that from you for you, so that you don't have to suffer. I am someone basically where if and I mean this when I say this is say if you're a good person or a friend of mine or whatever, and there was only one meal left, of and and I would just give it to you. I wouldn't even bother taking it. I'll just give it to you. I'll be like, here you go, here. Or sorry if I that's not what I meant to. No, I didn't. Sorry, I not. I'm not gonna cut that out. I'm not gonna cut that out because I didn't mean it, because that's a human mistake. I'm not gonna you know take that out. But it's not supposed to be a professional video. It's just more like just you know if you want to listen to me, you can. And if you relate to me and you want to be my friend in the future and or acquaintance or stop me in the while I'm walking or see me at Burger King or see me at anywhere in town or anywhere else in the world, just be my guest. Do that. I come to me. I'll talk. We'll talk. We'll have a friendly conversation. You can bring me to wherever you want. Do whatever it is that you want to do. But but I'm not doing nothing like. But of course, I'm not doing nothing that involves you know activity like romantic activities, for example, that isn't that involves me and or you, unless if we've been together for a long time or for a while, and I would think that it's time, that we move on to the next step in say a romantic relationship or something, but if you're not, but if you're just a friend to me or something like that, or whatever, then that's fine, you know. And when we get to know each other better, then we can move on from there. If there is a next step to that, the world may never know that. The God knows all. But by the way, I'm not like if you were my friend and all, I'm not gonna bug you. I'm not gonna bug you or annoy you at all with scriptures and stuff of the Bible and other stuff like that. I'm not I'm not that kind of friend or that kind of person. So I do love God and I do love the Lord. I have a relationship with them already, and even in faith, but I don't. But whether I choose to share it to anyone else or not is up to me. And I don't want I don't mind if we talk about it, but I just don't want talking about religion of any kind or even government, political, stuff like that. I don't care about talking any of that to any extent, because it's not it can easily be very argumentative, very controversial, and between different beliefs and whatever. And that and it's something, and I'm always learning when someone tells me, oh, about something about God or Lord or something, the Bible or something of whatever else it is, or a government or anything. But do I believe everything that they say? No, I don't. I do the research. I actually do the research myself, looking it up. And if you're telling, I'm not gonna do that but I won't do that every time or whatever. If we get to be friends, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not that friend, or I'll be like, oh, you said this, okay, and then I look at the phone and I'm like, and then I'm like, and I show you like, here's the phone that my phone, like, here's where you're wrong and all, like that would be, that's not, no, I'm not I'm not at all that kind of person or that kind of friend. I'm one that is an absorber, not and I'll take what is for to me for granted and for the benefit of my life and all. But I'm not going to put that. But I'm not going to. But I want to give, but I don't. And I do. I don't mind taking, but I just don't. But I'm not going to be that. But I'm not. It's hard to explain. I'm sorry. It just goes on, but if I even cut this out, but just yeah, I am bisexual. I am a friendly, empathetic, caring, loving, supportive friend who will shop with you, who will cry with you, who will like watch movies, watch anything with you, will do anything that you want to do of fun activities, and that it doesn't involve so much of heights and stuff, but I just but I wouldn't mind doing whatever with you, and even being at your party, being just as a like just and just you know I do want to feel more alive and more socializing and doing more with my life, and with others. And I can't do that or I can do it, but I don't know how to, and I'm very shy and very, and not intimidated, but just very shy and, nervous a little bit, and like what they're going to think of me if I say something, or a few words can say a lot about the person, I guess, or actions, and a lot of people are judgmental and stuff, and I just, and to me personally, and you can relate to do this as well, in your life, is that I'm always, I always feel like I'm judged, that I'm always questioned, and I'm always hated upon, like no one, like I used to, and people who I thought maybe were friends or maybe acquaintances or friends who were over at, at a certain restaurant, as you already know, and of the restaurant, and I used to know people there, and then I thought I was friends with some of them, at least, or a few of them. Because we got to be in a talking zone, and the kind of and just talking and having fun and laughing, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. I don't know why. Is it? I know it's probably me, but what did I do that deserves, being hated upon, being disliked, being, I guess I am socially awkward. I guess I am abnormal. I'm not normal like everyone else. I'm just a human being. I'm just an individual who still doesn't to this day understand how life, in my sense, works. Who doesn't socialize every day? Who doesn't really get to go out and about? To not just to certain friends, but make new ones every day. Like I want to do that. I want to do all that, but it's not procrastination or laziness. It's it is anxiety, social anxiety, stress, and discomfort, and just being shy, and just some depression here and there, and other stuff. Like I'm just and being and by the way, I can be bipolar in a way, but I'm not, but not to the extreme. Like I'm just borderline bipolar. So and so, but if you, like I said, if you do want to if you do want to make be friends with me or acquaintance or get to know me, or if you're or if you know of me and you've seen me before and you haven't, but yet I understand you probably think I'm socially awkward and or just whatever, if you want to, if you're watching this and you watched through the whole thing or most of it, and you heard everything I said to you, and and maybe you can, maybe in a way, if you want to, at least give it a shot. Just try. I mean, I'm not hard to get. I'm not a hard catch. I am an easy listening, open-minded individual who cares so much about you. And you may not know this, but I do care about you. I do care a lot about whatever you do and everything else. And I'm not just generally saying that. No, I mean that. That's from my heart, from my soul, from my mind, from everything. I care, and I hope you do as well. So, if you do ever want to, with me or just talk to me or whatever, or stop me, I'm at if you see me at Burger King and be like, hey, Ethan, Ethan, or whoever, are you Ethan? And I'll be like, yeah, and then we just get on talking and and then I'm like, I'll at first I'll probably feel a little embarrassed or embarrassed by people watching the video, but I get past that quite easily, quite fast and easily. Like at first it'll be like for the first day or two, I'm like, oh my gosh, should I even post this? Should I even have this on there? Who's gonna watch it? How many people are gonna judge me? Why should I care about any of that? If you don't want to connect with me, you don't have to. I'm not forcing you. I never will force you to do anything. I just want to be friends with whoever has a similar mind or set, or understanding, or just who wants to give it a shot. If you want to be friends, we'll be friends. If not, then not. But I would appreciate it so much if you could break the ice, though. Be the icebreaker. So if you come up to me, I'll respond, but doesn't mean I broke the ice. I want you to break it first, and I'll continue. Because I wouldn't come up to you and break the ice. I just don't. Because if I don't know you're the one, if I don't know at all that you're someone that wants to come up to me and talk to me, how am I gonna know that? I'm not telepathic. I can't read your mind. You come up to me first, and then we can talk, and we can become good friends. Just as simple as talking. It's more easier for you than it is for me. So, but if you're in the same boat as me, and you're not, then you're not alone. You're not alone in this world. So, my name is Ethan Bonzer. I will see you in the future. I'll talk to you in the future here on YouTube and wherever else I have this posted. And comment down below if you feel like you're in the same boat as me and that you're not alone and you want to talk to me, and even if we're just talking to each other online or whatever through here, and then eventually online, and eventually on the phone or video chat and whatever else, and then maybe in person if it gets to that point, But it all starts with saying hi, saying hey, saying hey, what's up? Don't if you know you're going to say, just for example, if you're gonna scam me, or if you know you're gonna try to steal money from me, or be like, well, I'm giving away money or this and that, or to whoever, and you talk to me, and you want no information about me and stuff like that, I won't even respond. I won't even care. You just be yourself. You tell me what you just tell me hey, or tell me like hey, what's up, or talk to me. But if you're gonna scam me or something like that, you know that already in advance before you even do that, before you even say anything to me, and you just scam me or try to scam me, you're not gonna get much. You're not gonna get very far, and I will probably block you, you know, on here on YouTube. If you're trying to do anything, you know, stupid, naive, scamming, you know. So I'll see you later. Talk to me, and if you ever see me in public. But if you want to, I'm not. You know, when you get to know me more better as an individual, I promise you will not ever regret it. You'll like me. You'll like who I am, my personality. I'll open up more to you when you open more up to me. That sort of thing. When we get to talk more in over time, then I'll open myself up more. I am an open-minded, and I will always be open-minded to you, regardless. But I want to know. For a fact if you're not going to be the person to gossip, or tell others, and just try and build a friendship or relationship on false lies or gossiping or whatever. You know what I mean? So, and also I love road trips and everything like that too. So, and if you have any questions, comment down below and I'll answer them. See ya.